That's yeah.
Let us hop to the Florida Panthers and Tyler.
Hold on, Tyler. I'm just going to take this. This is a shot because I do not agree with who the fuck you are going to be protecting. All right, this is a shot of tequila. This is for you, and this is for the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I guess the problem is I don't know much about the Panthers. I mean, for me, obviously Barkov and Huberdeau are obvious ones. Hornqvist is I concede is controversial, but a veteran player I don't think they want to lose. So that's kind of why I have him on my list. Frank Vatrano, who's a UFA after this season, 27-year-old winger. Anthony Duclair, I think, is a fairly straightforward one there. Noel Acciari and Carter Verhaeghe. I'm kind of throwing darts on this one a little bit. On defense, Ekblad is an obvious one. Keith Yandle with the no movement clause. I haven't heard that he wants to waive it or is willing to, so he has to stay on. And then Mackenzie Weegar, and then obviously Bobrovsky and net. But yeah, I'm open to suggestions here. My knowledge on Florida is not as deep as some of these other teams I was assigned.
You know what? I'm going to jump in here.
Deb, before you say that, I have one thing to say. You're throwing darts, Tyler, and your aim's not good.
Yeah, well, it is when I throw darts.
And let me tell you why.
Please, that's why we're having this show.
Absolutely. I would have Patrick Hornqvist as much as he is a veteran presence within the lineup. You have Sam Bennett. You have Alex Wenberg. You have Brandon Montour. And you have, you have to protect Bobrovsky. Obviously, Chris Drager, I thought that he played a better role within that lineup as a goaltender. But Alexander Wenberg, he didn't really work out in Columbus. I thought that he played a really good role within the strategy within Florida. Sam Bennett, you gave up a second rounder and a second rounder last year. I can't remember his name, but I know that he's a two-way forward that's going to be coming to Calgary, and I'm excited about him.
I'm just not sure that he's high on Seattle's radar, but yes.
Man, if I'm Seattle, I'm picking him.
Yeah, but you're a Flames guy.
Well, no,
the
reason why, and I think it is Sam Bennett within your picking. Sam Bennett's number one on that forward list, but then you also have Brandon Montour potentially getting
Montour. I see that one, the potential there for sure.
For sure, but it's Sam Bennett. He, as I was saying this morning to Kevin and Sean, is that you'd rather want to reel in a tiger than trying to get a fucking house cat to be a tiger kind of thing, right? So I just see so much potential within Sam Bennett's game. I think that he showed so well that he can contribute on a different level than he did in Calgary, in Florida, and Seattle, especially with it being in that Pacific Conference, will want to show that Calgary really missed out on him overall. So that's where I'm kind of sitting within that. Good job on Noel Acciari. He is a heart and souler. He's very much a Stefan Yell-esque player for your Calgary fans out there. He blocks shots. He's a good defensive player. He'll be on your PK.
And he was great with Boston.
Yeah, exactly. And Carter Verhaeghe, what a find he was. He was kind of bouncing around within the NHL, and he found a good spot. And I mean, who doesn't play well with Jonathan Huberdeau? Just saying. So good. Yeah. Overall, you can't really go wrong with that. But other than
dart throwing,
exactly. You need to work your darts at Pig and Duke when you come into town here.
Yes.
The Sam Bennett. I think you have to protect Sam Bennett, and as much as Noel Acciari is a good sort of depth guy, like he's had 120 goal season, and the rest has been he's been a depth guy. Yeah, he can be all that. I just think if you're making that decision, you might have to make a tough decision on Noel Acciari to protect Sam Bennett over him. And then you got Alex Wemberg, but he is a UFA. So again, it all comes down to what are you looking at in terms of where their negotiations are going. But I like Verhaeghe. He's a 25-year-old. He's got some upside. He scored 18 goals this season in 43 games. It's only his second season in the league. I think you have to make sure you protect him. Unless Yandle is willing to waive, they're going to have to give up like a Nudavara or a Montour. Yeah. And don't sleep on Nudavara. I think he is a very good, solid defenseman who can slide into your second pair on most teams. And if he's available, he's a right side defenseman that I think is, if he's available, that he's a left shot guy who plays the right side. But if he's available, Seattle will definitely be taking a hard look at him.
For me, I have two thoughts on this. It was, to me, my list would be between Sam Bennett and Anthony Duclair, to be honest with you. Sorry, Devin. Sam Bennett takes too many dumb penalties for me to be super excited about him. I don't think Seattle looks at him. I think Seattle will probably look defense. In my mind, I think there's just too much there that well, the Yandle
factor works into that, right? Like if he has to go on Florida's protected list, then there's going to be somebody available on defense. I'm not as super outraged that you didn't protect Sam Bennett over some of these other guys. I understand why Devin and Sean see that as a mistake, but I'm not. That's not an outrage to me. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they find a way to either get someone, hopefully, to get either that Yandle or a Bobrovsky contract out of the way. If you're giving up Chris Driedger, you're going to have to, maybe they're going to try to add, sorry, Tyler, I have to use this word, almost 2 hours in, sweetener. Yeah.
Haven't done that in a long time, man. It's been it's been probably a full off season.
It's been a while, yeah. Now our spreadsheet here says Bobrovsky has a no movement clause. I'm assuming he's not willing to waive, so
he won't waive it. And Driedger is someone I think unless Seattle's willing to give him one hell of a deal, I think he's going to try and test UFA. And Kevin, I see where you're coming from, but I think you're coming from that as a Flames fan, where you've seen Sam Bennett make those mistakes, but you look at what he did with Florida, and you kind of wonder, can he be at least a second line center for Seattle if he's available? And you look at what he did with Florida, and I think Florida's going to look at that and go, we gave up Emil Heineman, and a second-round pick for him at the deadline. Are we really leaving him exposed? I do not think so, and I think they're going to find a way to keep him to protect him, and it might be at the expense of a Patrick Hornqvist or a Noel Acciari.
Yeah. I mean, even with Florida, though, he took some pretty terrible penalties that probably cost him the series. So that's the other thing. That's the other thing too. And that has been an ongoing issue with Sam Bennett following Sam Bennett. You
have to take the good with the bad with him, but he put up 15 points in 10 games and 5 points in 5 games. So 50 points in 10 games in the regular season and 5 and 5 in the playoffs. And this team Florida is building something, and I think Sam Bennett is part of that. They will find a way to keep him.
He's a player that they don't have within the lineup. The grittiness. I believe he broke Valerie Berry's record with that 15 points in 10 games. Valerie.
Pavel.
No, it's Valerie. Trust me, guys. Trust me. I'm joking. Of course, it's Pavel. Yes, I understand
Valerie never
that,
played
guys.
for Florida.
I know. Jesus Christ, guys. You know I'm bad with names, so give me a break, for God's sakes.
All